Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. By the way, today is Tuesday, May 24th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Of course, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, and all those other social media companies by searching Larry Steinhouse. So please do that. Let's connect. Hey, just a reminder, of course, if you're watching online, hit that like button. Come on, hit that like button. Let everybody know what a great show this is. And hit that share button so other people can see it as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And of course, you can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And please say hi so I know you're watching. And by the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, go to the Money Chat Now fan page, click like, and comment there. And that way your name will show up and I'll be able to say hi to you. And real quick, just a couple of people that are say hi right now. We got Peter and Moshe online. Thank you guys so much. I totally appreciate it. And also we have Tommy online. All right, you can attend, by the way, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. Hey, real quick, I wanted to mention an event that we're having tomorrow. If you are anywhere near Newtown, Pennsylvania, we're going to be at the Temperance House tomorrow at 5:30. So if you want to go there, go to the Temperance House at 5:30, and you'll be able to hang out with us. We'll be there for about an hour or two, hanging out, getting some drinks, and just talking real estate and real estate investing. All right, on today's show, of course, we're going to be discussing the futures update. We're going to be discussing monkey business, monkeypox. We're going to be talking Volkswagen versus Tesla, more franchises leaving Russia, and of course, the largest privately owned company, and that may surprise you who it really is. And then, of course, it's Interview Tuesday, and I want to let you know that today is Interview Tuesday. For our online audience, each Tuesday, we plan to bring you a great interview with interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. And, of course, if you'd like to be a guest on this show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. And let us know that you want to be interviewed. Today we have Jill Gordon, and she's going to be teaching you how to have some great eating habits and how to stay healthy. All right, let's get into the futures and what happened. I just woke up from a dream, and in that dream, the stock market rallied over 600 points. Wait a minute, it wasn't a dream? Wow. Well, it looks like a well-predicted prediction. However, very close to, but sort of not coming true. I don't know. I said the Dow would fall to about 31,300, and then it would cycle between 31,000 and 3,300 before making moves towards 28,000, not 28, making moves towards 28,000. And by the way, I hope I'm wrong about the 28,000, but yesterday, look, the stock market did rally. It was rallied and led by tech and bank stocks. And of course, the travel stocks didn't move much. In fact, my CCL was actually down a few cents. So I decided to buy even more. I think I'm nuts. I think I have a problem. I just keep buying it. I sure hope I'm not trying to catch a falling knife here, but I don't know. It definitely seems like this stock can't go any further, but I've said that before. So there are two possible problems with this stock. One, of course, is the fuel costs, and the other is monkeypox. And we're going to get into that ridiculousness later in the show, but that could be the problem. So the investors are a little spooked, and they're a little spooked to go to the travel stocks for these reasons. Maybe we need to get an exorcist to cleanse the bad spirits or something. I don't know. But it looked like Ross Stores had a nice dead cat bounce after it tanked on Friday about 25 points. It rode yesterday to be the big winner with an almost 10% surge. I got to be honest, I don't trust it. In fact, I'm very cautious about the rally yesterday in general. Yes, I still believe we're going to range from 31,000 to 33,000-ish, but the question will be how fast will the swings happen? The VIX is still hovering about 29, and it hardly moved yesterday, even with the rally. So it's possible the rally may have been caused by even people selling stocks short, waiting for the next move down to grab some quick money. That's dangerous. Snap was the most interesting story yesterday when the company announced that it expects to miss all revenue expectations by a long shot. You want to know what my reaction is to this? Snap who? I never understood how Snap wasn't a single-digit stock forever. This news made other social media stocks like Facebook plummet overnight. Facebook, I got to tell you, Facebook might even be a play at these levels. When I looked at it last night, Facebook was down 15 points, and it's probably down about 13 points right now. And I'm going to tell you, it's probably a quick in and out play. Buy Facebook today and sell it by the end of the week. If you buy the options, you may make a killing on this play. So I don't know, what's it going to be? Are we going to range here or drop below? I think we have a small window of ranging at these levels, and those levels will be 31,000 to 33,000. But I still see the drop coming, so be careful. Hey, let's take a quick look at the futures, and they're dismal. Well, they're not as bad as they were this morning. They were kind of dismal this morning. They were down over 300 points. Now the Dow is down 162, the S&P is down 34, and the Nasdaq is down 165. All right, I gotta go there. Monkeypox, really? Are you kidding me? Monkeypox? Where did they come up with this crap? Well, monkeypox is here to stay. And it's going to be difficult for people to go about their lives once again. Of course, right? It's unreal. Apparently, there are now 100 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the United States. Do you remember when people got sick, stayed home for a day, went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you'll be fine, take 2 aspirin in the morning and call me, right? I mean, well, come on, seriously? Well, now if you sneeze, the government is up your nose taking DNA so they can identify what variation of the new scare they can report you have. So what is monkeypox anyway? Well, first of all, it's a viral disease that actually appeared first in monkeys before it spread to humans. The most prominent feature of monkeypox is a skin rash that resembles bumps on your body, similar to chickenpox, only they're slightly bigger, right? The other main difference, and the dangerous difference, is that the lymph nodes swell with monkeypox, where chickenpox, they don't. So I'll bet you're wondering, how does one get monkeypox? Ooh, you could kiss that guy in the screen, or, here you go, right? Monkeypox spreads when someone comes in close contact with another person, animal, or material infected with the virus. The virus can enter the body through broken skin, the respiratory tract, or through the eyes, nose, and mouth. I just want to repeat the last part of that, through the eyes, nose, and mouth. Do you know what that means? It means that we're going to be wearing masks again. That's right, it's coming. And by the way, Philadelphia schools are already back to wearing masks. And if anybody out there could just give me real scientific data on whether masks work, I have not been able to find any in almost 3 years. Do you remember when the CDC gave a warning to dark-skinned Americans and said that they have a higher chance of dying of coronavirus than light-skinned Americans? Well, now they're segregating another high-profile group as a major issue. Apparently, if you are a gay male, you have a higher chance of contracting monkeypox. Now, by the way, if there wasn't so much political correction out there, I probably could make a gay and monkey joke, but I'll refrain. Anyway, Dr. John Brooks, a CDC official, because a CDC official, we should trust them empathetically, right? Especially with how they did with the last scamdemic. Anyway, Dr. Brooks emphasized that anyone can contract monkeypox through close personal contacts, regardless of sexual orientation. However, Brooks said many of the people affected globally so far are men who identify as gay or bisexual. I guess they can't keep They got to keep scaring one group to get votes, right? Now they just needed another group, so now they get the black vote. Now they get the gay vote. I mean, seriously, I'm really wondering what the Spanish group is going to get in the next batch of "Let's Scare People into Submission." It's time to update the State of the Union. Now we have monkeypox. We have starving babies. We have inflation running amok. We have crime out of control. We have a border crisis, and we have a leader who looks like something out of The Walking Dead. And the stock market is going into bear territory with a possible recession coming. Let's go, Brandon. Oh. All right, let's talk about Volkswagen and Tesla. But real quick, I'm going to say hello to a couple people who joined us online. We got Mike and Jill. By the way, and Jill is the one we're going to be interviewing. We've got Doug and Linda. Thanks, Linda. I always love it when you watch. We have Mick, and it looks like that's it, man. All right, cool. Oh, we got Michael talking about election cheating. Of course. That's what monkeypox is all about, election cheating. All right, a few years ago, there was a great movie, and it was called Ford versus Ferrari. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, you could always reinstate your Netflix membership and watch it. Just don't forget to cancel your membership right after watching it. Anyway, it appears that now we have a movie in the making called Volkswagen versus Tesla. No, not really a movie, but, at least not yet. But everyone is trying to outseat Tesla in the electric car space. Volkswagen has made the bold prediction that they will sell more electric cars than Tesla by 2025. They are predicting that the supply chain issue will affect Tesla more than it will affect Volkswagen because of the location of the plants. Tesla is also concentrating on building more plants, and Volkswagen is concentrating on building more cars. This information came from a conversation between a reporter and Herbert Diess, who is the chairman of the board of Volkswagen. Volkswagen owns brands like Audi, Lamborghini, Bentley, Porsche, and Ducati, and, they're all being projected into the sales estimates. Will it happen? I don't know, but eventually Tesla's going to get boring. By the way, I think Tesla's already gotten boring. I think they just look terrible. And I'll take an internal combustion engine over an electric one, at least for now. I like the rev of the engine. Are you an electric car fan? Let me know in the comments if you're an electric car fan. All right, real quick, let's take a break here. And when we come back, we're going to be discussing franchises in Russia. We're going to be discussing the world's largest privately owned company. And it may surprise you who it is and who's in second place. And coming up, we have the picks and plays of the day. And of course, if you're watching online, look for today's interview with Jill Gordon as she helps you take better care of yourself. And we will see you in a minute.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask your one burning question to the stock option sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call today for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited, so what are you waiting for? Call in today or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM. And if you're listening, or if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. Hit that like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them. All right, everybody, hit share. Hit share right now so we can have that interview for Jill and everyone can see it, because I'm telling you, that interview is going to be great. All right, today we're going to be discussing, of course, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and right now the Dow is down 183, the S&P is down 38, and the NASDAQ is down 184. We talked about monkeypox, or monkey business, or moneypox, or anything that you want to call it, because it's a bigger joke than all the rest of the jokes that the Democrats have put on us. We talked about Volkswagen versus Tesla and how Volkswagen says they're going to unseat Tesla. Coming up, we got more franchises leaving Russia. We have the largest privately owned company. And of course, we have an interview with Jill Gordon. And then we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Come on, hit that like button, hit that share button. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to the station and listen every day at 7:30. And also look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home. And let me know what you think of the show. All right. Before we get into the second half, are you ready for this financial downturn or recession that might come? Look, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com, look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse, pre-order it, and I promise you're going to learn something. There are chapters in this book about how to make more money and chapters about how to pay less taxes, and you're going to learn from me as I give you an overview of my favorite lessons and hacks that I've learned about money. Order Money Hacks today where you find fine books. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about franchises and Russia. So far, we've seen Burger King in Russia sell all their rights to a Russian investor with the caveat that they have to change the name. My guess is maybe Burger Czar. We also have McDonald's closing all stores now, and we have Starbucks closing stores in Russia as well. It seems like these companies had an exit plan for this day. It came down to something like this. Starbucks, like Burger King, were all licensing agreements and not company-owned stores, so they aren't really closing. They just can't use the fancy, demonic Starbucks logo anymore. When I read the article, however, it appears that Starbucks controls the payroll for these 130 sites in Russia and is going to continue to pay the employees for at least 6 months after the license agreement ends. So I guess that's kind of like the opposite of sanctions then, right? We're going to pay their unemployment for 6 months? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Do people in America actually see Russia being punished by them no longer having McDonald's, Burger King, and Starbucks? Is this how we're going to beat Russia into submission? By no longer competing with the homegrown companies and basically giving them the systems and knowledge that these companies had so they can create Burger Czar, McPutin, and Starvlad? No wonder Russian ruble is skyrocketing in value, opposed to the value of the dollar, which is shrinking every day. It's amazing to me how these guys don't have any clue. And if you think Russia's hurting, they're not. They're laughing all the way to the bank. All right, let's talk about some privately owned companies. Hey, there are many companies out there, and when you find out that they're privately owned, you're kind of surprised. I think about this one, right? If Elon Musk buys Twitter, it becomes a privately owned company, and that means you and I can't invest in it anymore. Well, speaking of Elon Musk, and according to an article in CNBC, SpaceX, which is a privately held company, is looking to raise capital. In fact, they're looking to raise about $127 billion from private shareholders who now invest with Musk in the company. After this raise, SpaceX would be the second largest privately held company in the world. I mean, this guy's like a rock star. Actually, you know what? It might even be that rock stars now wish they were Elon Musk. Anyway, the surprise here is who the largest privately held company in the world actually is currently. The largest Chinese company is a company called ByteDance. And guess what? This company owns TikTok. So ByteDance owns TikTok, and they're the largest privately owned company. That's amazing. Now I further understand why Musk wants to buy Twitter. If he rolls it into SpaceX, it would have the largest company as well on the planet, and it would beat out, TikTok, right? All right, we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're also going to have today's picks and plays, and of course, if you're watching online, look for today's interview with Jill Gordon as she helps you take better care of yourself. So make sure you watch this commercial, and make sure that you come back in a minute. We'll see. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is because everything you think you know about money is wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And by the way, we're having a book launch, or I'm having a book launch, I guess, on June 1st. I'm kind of hoping you can make it. It's actually going to be a lot of fun. Go to moneyhacksbook.com, moneyhacksbook.com, and you can register for $27. And I'm even going to be feeding you. And by the way, the meal costs more than $27, but we want you to come and enjoy. And of course, the jacket I'll be wearing will match the book. So how could you not go? And you get to take a picture of me wearing that jacket. I might even let you take a picture of yourself wearing that jacket. But go to moneyhacksbook.com and sign up now, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, tomorrow night, if you're around, if you're in the Newtown, Pennsylvania area or Bucks County area, go to the Temperance House, and we're going to be having a little event there. We're just going to be hanging out, drinking, talking about real estate, talking about the stock market and investments. So go to the Temperance House tomorrow night. We'll be there at 5:30 to about 7:30. So definitely show up if you can. All right, let's get back into things. So far, we've been discussing, of course, the futures update. Right now, the Dow is down about 200, the S&P is down 40, and the Nasdaq is down about 191. I'm pretty sure that Snap is going to tear the Nasdaq down today. We talked about monkeypox. I just, at least it sounds funnier than COVID, right? All right. We talked about Volkswagen versus Tesla and how Volkswagen says that they think they're going to out-seat Tesla. We talked about all the franchisees leaving Russia because, Russia needs to be sanctioned against McDonald's, Burger King, and Starbucks, whatever. We talked about Elon Musk owning the second, or will soon own the second privately held company, and how TikTok, the owners of TikTok, are the first privately owned company. Coming up, we have today's picks and plays. You guys hit that like button yet? Come on, hit that like button, hit that share button, let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing the information. And you could share to your page or groups that you feel will benefit from the great stock plays. You can also leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, don't forget, if you're listening on WWDB radio, set one of your presets to this station and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. All right, well, look. It looks like the market is kind of going back to being a one-trick pony. The market moves up, and then the next couple of days it becomes rough again. The Dow is tanking, of course, in pre-market, and the weird part is it seems to be all about Snap and their bad guidance. Look, they had bad guidance yesterday. They said they're going to miss their revenue by a lot, so it's kind of weird. I'm also looking to see, looking for Facebook to go below 175, and then I might consider it a good play. It's like 182 now or something like that. I also have some Twitter as I wait Musk to make good on his deal with Twitter. I'm going to tell you, I think this guy is such a good chess player. He's already figured out how to bow out gracefully without making a fool of himself. I said this before that, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but he has $1 billion escrow. So if he backs out a deal, he has to pay Twitter $1 billion no matter what. He doesn't really care because it's better than giving him all the money for Twitter. But it's amazing to me because his reputation is everything here. The reputation is the real issue here. And if he doesn't buy the company, then his reputation looks bad if he walks away, right? He would look like a liar and a manipulator. But if he decides to cancel the purchase by exposing Twitter as fraudulent reporting to the SEC, so they had fraudulent reports to the SEC, he becomes a hero by backing out. It is so bizarre how brilliant this guy is. And at the same time, we're going to watch and we're going to see all these fake followers. Like, as you know, we talked about this the other day. We had the president, if you want to call him that, he has 50% of his followers are fake. And I'm also assuming that 50% of his voters were fake too, but that's a whole other issue. All right, let's get back into some stocks that I think might be good plays. I was examining AT&T as a stock last night again, and I got to tell you, I believe it's a very safe place for money right now. So if you're looking for a place to just put your money, be safe, and not worry about it, it also pays a nice dividend, and it doesn't move much. It doesn't move up or down. And of course, it could be a great covered call play, so maybe you sell the covered calls at 20, and you make money on it every month. Like, there's this stock called ZIM, Z-I-M. It's a stock that baffles me. It baffles me so much that it actually scares me. But this stock has been paying a remarkable 22% dividend and has a multiple of only 1.5. That means that the $70 share price right now could easily run up to $700 a share quickly. I just keep hearing that voice inside my head saying this is too good to be true. Well, if I wouldn't have not listened to that voice, I'd be up about 25% in the stock, and I'd have a great dividend as well. Look, if you're in the market for long term, I would look for some slow-moving, steady stocks that have good dividends. I mentioned AT&T. I might suggest PG or Procter & Gamble or Kellogg's for these. The market's going to be a rough ride for the next year, so be safe out there. I also recommend cash, precious metals, and real estate. Start looking for bargains in real estate. The shell is beginning to crack, and the deals are starting to come out again. All right, let's take a final look at the futures real quick. We have the Dow is down 214. We got the S&P down 43, and the Nasdaq is down about 200. Hey, let's talk about crypto real quick. Did you guys cancel your Lamborghini order yet, or do you believe crypto will come back? Have you noticed in the past, whenever people got down on crypto investing, the investors always had the last laugh? I don't think so this time, but you never know. Bitcoin is still below 30,000 and Ether is below 2,000, and these are bad psychological numbers, and we could see it fall even more as investors, run away from this non-backed asset. All right, so speaking of backed assets, gold and silver are still an anomaly to me. Gold is starting to move up and will probably head back to the 2000s again within the next 3 months. I'm sorry, 3 weeks. And silver is lower than I expect, just under 22. I also see it moving up. You know, by the way, I fooled the silver market this weekend. I canceled my auto ship and I ordered my bars early, so I bought it when it was low for a change. All right, the Treasury bond, real quick, is also holding at about 2.8%, and we'll see how it affects the market over the next month. I believe the bond rate is probably going to settle over 3%, and when it gets back into the news at about 3%, what do you think is going to happen? The Nasdaq's going to tank, Apple's going to tank. This is what happens all the time when the Treasury bond hits, starts to go up. So I would just watch for it, but at the same time, I think it's going to settle above 3, so it won't be such a bad play after all. And in other words, the stock market will recover from it. I kind of actually wish it was above 3 and it would stay there, because if it stays there, the stock market will get used to it, and we won't have to worry about it anymore. All right, oil. The barrel price is dropping slightly, and it's just under 110. And I've said this a couple of days in a row now. I think Memorial Day weekend is the whole factor here. I think as soon as Memorial Day weekend ends, the prices are gonna go down, because we always get a bump in oil on Memorial Day, and you know what it is, right? Hey, by the way, don't forget, if you want to survive the Biden economy, don't forget to order my new book. Go to Money Hacks. You can go to Money Hacks book, and you can go to the book signing, or you can go to BarnesandNoble.com, look up Larry Steinhouse Money Hacks, and you can pre-order it. I'm telling you, it's a great book. You'll actually enjoy the book. You could pre-order it, or you could actually wait for it to go into stores next month, or it'll be actually in the stores next month. I can't wait, because I want to take a picture of myself in the store. I want to remind you, of course, that today is Interview Tuesday for our online audience. Each Tuesday, we plan to bring you great interviews with interesting people to introduce you to their products, services, or just their good intentions. And of course, if you'd like to be a guest on that show, go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And if you're enjoying the show, please let me know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. And if you want to contact me directly, you can go to contactlarry.com. Don't forget to stay tuned for the interview with Jill Gordon, and have a profitable day.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask your one burning question to the stock option sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call today for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes, or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited, so what are you waiting for? Call in today or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to today's Money Chat Now interview. In this portion of the show, I take the opportunity to interview interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. Hey, by the way, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, and let me know that you want to be interviewed. All right, let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. As a health coach and digestive health specialist, my guest discovered the power of food to heal her daughter from an autoimmune disease in 2005. Her approach has successfully worked with hundreds of clients to help bring their bodies and minds back. She specializes in helping women discover the root cause of why they struggle with weight, bloat, and digestive issues by uncovering food triggers, deficiencies, and even negative self-talk so they can feel confident in their bodies again. She has an impressive certification. She has several impressive certifications from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, I believe that is, Loomis Institute of Enzyme Nutrition, and the Certified National Association of Certified Health. Hey, let's find out how she can help you. I want to welcome my guest, Jill Gordon. What's going on, Jill?
Hey Larry, thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so excited you're here. It's pretty awesome. You look so comfortable out there. It must be a really nice day over there. Look at this dark dungeon they put me in. This beautiful sun that you have out there.
It is beautiful.
All right, so you have to tell me something interesting. So you have all these certifications, and they're pretty interesting, and I hope I said them right. So what do you have to do to get these certifications?
Well, it's a lot of like coursework and you do a certain amount, you spend a certain amount of time, you go in-person events and everything, and then you take tests, and then you get the certifications.
Oh, it's that
The big
easy?
thing is to apply them.
It's that easy?
Well,
You made it sound so easy. I don't. We don't. Never mind. Everybody, the interview's over. Just go do this thing. Go to some seminar, take a test, and you have all the information that Jill has.
it's that easy.
There you go. All right. So tell me this story. So you have was it your daughter? I believe it was. Who had a serious digestive problem. So tell me about that.
So it was 2005. She was 11 years old, and she was just complaining that her stomach hurt and everything. So, we were like, we're not messing around. We'll take her to the top pediatric gastroenterologist in New Jersey and see what he has to say. So he basically diagnosed her with Crohn's disease, which is a very, very nasty autoimmune disease.
So tell me about what that is, because I've actually heard that, and I
sorry.
actually really don't know what that is. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So for those who don't know, Crohn's is basically when it makes you run to the bathroom all the time. Basically, your gut.
I'll be right back.
You're basically, in layman's terms, your gut is very, very compromised, and it has like little holes in it, like ulcers. And these holes, as you can imagine, what an ulcer, is like an open wound inside your gut. And what that makes you do is it makes it very hard for you to digest food. So you're running to the bathroom all the time. It's extremely, extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, I bet.
For
Sure.
anybody who has irritable
Yeah.
bowel, anybody who's irritable bowel or anything like that, it's all in that same family. So,
Okay.
So when she was diagnosed with that, and she was a little kid, so you can imagine.
Yeah, so
how
she's
embarrassing
11, and not only does she have to deal with I don't know what 11-year-olds do, but she also has to worry about is there going to be a bathroom nearby?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she was in pain. She was walking
Yeah.
around crouched over
Oh,
because she was
wow.
constantly in pain. It's
Okay,
horrible.
so you take her to
anyway,
doctors because you're a caring parent, right?
Take her to the doctor, the
Sure.
top doc, and it's very cookie cutter. They put her on drugs, they
Sure.
put her on a certain course of drugs, but what they don't tell you with the drugs is all the side effects of the drugs. So every time she would do better with the actual disease, she would have terrible side effects. She was like a zombie. I mean, the poor kid, she literally, we're talking for 8 months, she was not herself. She was a totally different person. And anyway, long story short, every time something didn't work, they put her on something stronger, and then something stronger, something stronger. Nothing was working. So finally, the doc said after about 9 months or something, look, obviously nothing's working. We're going to pull out big guns. So the big guns are chemotherapy drugs, but don't worry.
Wait, what kind of drugs?
Chemotherapy drugs.
Did you say chemotherapy? Like as in cancer?
Chemotherapy. Yes, major immunosuppressants.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. So, but don't worry, because we're going to monitor her every week. We're going to take her blood just to make sure she's okay. And oh, by the way, don't put her in super crowded spaces because her immune system is so suppressed that she
Get
will
out.
catch everything.
This is supposed to solve the problem.
This was the solution. So we were like,
Wow.
there's got to be another way. At this point, she's 12 years old, and she was not herself. I mean, it was terrible. So we took her we're so lucky to be introduced to this holistic doctor. And he basically said, did you ever consider it was the food that she was eating? And we were like, the doctor said no, but we will try anything. So he put her on he took away some of the more inflammatory foods, and just, put her on like more real food, more vegetables and proteins and good fats and stuff like that. Just real food, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I could tell you, Larry, within 3 days, she was a different person.
Wow.
All of a sudden, her face wasn't so gray. It literally was gray. She wasn't running to the bathroom every 2 minutes. It was maybe, 20 times in a day. I mean, it was such an improvement. And after about 3 months of doing this, and plus we did give her some supplementation, because what we found out was she was severely deficient in all of her vitamins and nutrients because her gut was so compromised she couldn't
Right. She
absorb
could absorb it.
anything.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, that was it. So what happened was, at the end of 3 months or so, she was off all of her meds, all of them.
Wow.
And we still went a little up and down. And it wasn't until I went and I started researching and got a bunch of certifications and really started figuring out everything going on. That's when she totally plateaued out. And she is now 28 years old. She's beautiful, living on her own. And she has not had any type of inflammation.
So she basically stuck
well
to the
over
diet.
12, 13 years.
She stuck to the,
It
and
was-
when I say
yeah.
diet, she stuck to the diet that you suggested that she eat. When I say diet, I'm not talking about losing weight diet. I'm talking about the foods that she's supposed to eat. It became a habit, and she no longer has these problems.
Not 100%.
Okay.
So, because here's the deal, the way the body works is when her gut, what happened was it was eating all this food that it could not digest. So it thins out that lining. Well,
Okay.
when you start to nourish your gut, you nourish your body, it builds up that gut lining. So now it's nice and thick. It's able to absorb everything. So now it's where it was. So yes, she can actually eat a lot of the foods that she cut out originally. So, I mean, there's certain foods that she will never eat. Like gluten is it's so inflammatory that
I have a
she
gluten
just-
problem. I've always had a gluten problem, and it's funny because you said something interesting before. You said something about 3 days, and I find that very interesting because. And let me tell you what happened when I discovered. Finally understood the gluten problem, and it's a very funny story, sort of. I had an ex-wife, but when she was not my ex-wife, she was just one of the nicest people on the planet. Let me explain how nice she was. So I had to go. I went for a sleep study because I had really bad sleep apnea, and I had to wear one of those, CPAP machines, right? And I'm wearing a CPAP machine, and she would complain that it made too much noise. Sound like Darth Vader, right?
Darth Vader.
Right. So one day, my sweetheart of an ex-wife took the CPAP machine and threw it against the wall and smashed it. Because it was much more important to her that, that I possibly die while I'm sleeping. Well, that actually explains a lot, so I don't even need to go there. But then I discovered that, so I had to sleep apnea. I had to figure out what to do. So I started looking up, things on the internet, and I started looking up sleep apnea cures, and I find this really odd article about gluten. And it says, if you give up gluten, your sleep apnea will go away. And I'm like, come on. So I figured, whatever, I'll try it. And you know what? 3 days. 3 days later, I was sleeping normally. Now,
Wow.
I know I have a gluten problem. Hey, anybody got some bread? Can you pass the donut? I know.
Oh my
don't-
God, I saw you eating donuts and you knew you had a gluten issue.
No,
Larry!
So it is a problem for me, and I do unfortunately I still haven't been able to kick the habit, but I do notice that when I don't eat gluten, that I am much better off. So you actually had some experience with gluten too. You did some kind of a contest or something, right? On gluten. What was it?
I did. It was a gluten-free challenge.
Right.
And it was just going off gluten. And here's the thing, what I always try to emphasize, it's not about what you're giving up, it's about what you're gaining. And there's so many alternatives to everything. There are actually gluten-free donuts that you can have.
Yeah, but they don't
And
taste like donuts. You ever have?
you know what? They do.
They don't.
They do.
No, they don't, because I've tried all the gluten-free things that there are, and and I got to admit there are some places that really. But if you take a donut that's 300 calories and you take a gluten-free donut, you know how many calories a gluten-free donut is? It's like double.
It can be. It can
is.
be.
It
Listen,
is.
I'm not a huge fan of processed food and always doing the gluten-free alternatives because so often gluten it's all processed, right?
Right, but what you really need to do is just not eat donuts, and that was the lesson that I learned. Now, every once in a while, I treat myself to a cauliflower crusted pizza, and they're really good, but they don't taste anything like a regular pizza. And every once in a while I'm like, oh, that pizza just looks so good, I gotta have it. So then, then, and I'll also tell you something else. When I give up gluten for a long time, I could have a couple of slices of pizza, and as long as I don't have a couple of slices of pizza the next day, I'm fine. But the problem is,
Well, you think you're fine.
yeah. Well, no,
You
well,
think you're
no, I mean,
fine.
I don't have it, like, I understand, I get it. Well, okay, so
It
why don't you
builds
tell
up.
us, how I'm poisoning my body by eating that gluten?
Well, first of all, gluten is glue. That's what it is. It's a binder.
Right, right.
So that's what it does. That's why they use it so much. It's also addictive. So
Really?
let me tell you, yes, it is.
I thought it
So
was the
it's like
sugar that was
cocaine.
mixed
It's
into
like
gluten that was addictive. I find that's interesting
sugar
that
is,
gluten's addictive.
and let me tell you, all of the food processing, companies, they all know this and they add
Really?
extra in. So it's yes, I'm telling you. And but it's glue and it's super inflammatory. So try to have your body process glue. It can't. So it sets it aside. And where does it set it aside? Like in fat. So that's why a lot of times, like so often, you're so many people struggle with weight when they have a lot of gluten because it just gets stored as fat. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. And also it's inflammatory, which it can slowly make these little pinprick holes in your colon lining, making it very thin, making it hard for you to, absorb real food and nutrients. So, and listen, I've got so many stories, Larry. I mean, I have like one story. I had this one woman who she came to me and all we did was take out the gluten and she just did alternatives. And
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
so many these days. There really are.
I had given
And
up gluten for a really long
20
time.
pounds. What's that?
How many pounds?
20 pounds in 1 month.
Wow.
It just
Wow.
release.
So I had
right
given
out.
up gluten for a really long time, and I no doubt. I mean, there was no doubt. I felt so much better about everything I did, and I try. I got to, maybe you can even help me. Maybe you can even help some of our audience because I'll tell you, I just struggle with, and here's what happens, right? So like this morning I didn't do it. I'm trying to be good, but I'll see a donut and I'll eat the donut, right? And I haven't had a donut in 2 months, and that's great. But then I'm like, screw it. I ate one. Let me eat two. And then like the next day, well, you know what? Yesterday I had 2 donuts. Why don't I have some pizza today? Who cares? I'm going to be fat. I'm going to be gluten. I'm going to be full of gluten my entire life. I'm just not going to bother anymore. So how can you help somebody with my mindset that needs to change that? Please help me.
And it's funny you say that because the truth is, like, I used to think working, because I've worked with just under 1,000 people with online programs and individually and everything. And I realized at first I thought food was the foundation, that's what nourishes your body and the whole thing. But it's actually your mindset. It's like you can say, well, anybody can do anything for a certain amount of time.
Right.
But then they fall
I
off.
find
It's
that
like,
to be my problem is, and then all of a sudden it just stops.
Right.
But
right.
go ahead. I interrupted you, but go ahead.
So no problem. So anyway, like one of the tricks that I use is, there's a lot of tricks, but one of them is you have to realize like you are where your attention is. And if your attention is you're this donut is sitting in front of you, and you start salivating and everything, it's literally, you move your attention as quickly as possible. You shift it out, you move it away as fast as you can, and you just divert your attention and start thinking of something else. And I know it sounds like, yeah, right, Jill, like that's so easy. But when you do it enough, then it just becomes habit. It's just like getting out of bed in the morning. You probably use the same foot, you get out of bed and, brush your teeth and everything. These are habits, you don't think about them. And this becomes the same thing. And I also am very to me, there are certain black and whites. With gluten, that it hurts you. It hurts you.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I look at it and go, I'm going to pay for this tomorrow. I do it all the time. But I got to take a step back. So did you ever have a weight problem?
I did. I used to weigh 50 pounds more than I do
Okay,
today.
good. So at least I'm talking to somebody with experience. Because most of the time we talk to people, right? And I say when that donut is across the table and I see it for the first time, I go, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it. Oh, screw it. I'm going to eat it. And this happens to me all the time. then you say take your attention away from it, but here's the problem. There's only two ways to take the attention away from it. One is to either remove the donut from the room, right? Or
Right.
remove myself from the room. Well, if I'm in a meeting with 6 people and they're all eating donuts and there's a box of donuts there and there's one donut left because it was bought for me, how do you take your attention away from the donut if it's staring you in the face and you're smelling the person's donut next to you? That's the one you probably would have picked if you would have gotten the first choice, but you got last choice and you got the stupid strawberry one that still looks good, even though it's not the chocolate one, but you still want it because he's eating the chocolate one next to you. Does that sound familiar?
You're talking yourself into it, and I get it. But here's the thing.
Hey, bring me that
My
donut.
rule is I don't eat gluten because I'm
Right.
not putting that in my palace.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very black and white thing. And when you have certain black and whites, when structure gives you freedom, right? The more structure you have, the more free you are. Because
Right.
when you say, "Oh no, thanks, I don't eat gluten," and then if you ask people like, "Hey, if you don't mind, just don't bring those because I don't eat that stuff or whatever." See, it's black and white. Structure gives you freedom. So
I love that.
And
I'm just going to take a minute because I really love that statement, structure gives you freedom, because everybody right away they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I wish I was free to eat anything I want. Well, you're not. Okay, but you are free to kill yourself early, and you are free to be in pain, and you are free to do all those other things, but you would have more freedom if you weren't killing yourself early and you weren't being sick and you were. So when you say structure gives you freedom, that's really what you mean. You mean the freedom to do everything else, but eat the frickin' donut. But I want to eat the donut, Jill.
structure gives you freedom. It's black and white. And it's very simple. Oh, no, thank you. I don't eat donuts. I don't eat gluten.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I don't. And you have to do it enough so then it becomes habit.
Okay, so
'cause
now,
of course it's hard at the beginning.
yeah, but now you got a room full of people who are used to you eating that donut, and you look at them and you go, "I don't eat donuts." And what do you think they're all gonna say? That's not what you
They'll
said
laugh,
last
and then you're
week,
gonna-
huh?
They will. But you know what? Then you're going to correct them and say, I don't eat donuts. I did,
Okay.
but I don't anymore because they really make me feel really bad.
It's like that song.
And I
No,
don't
no,
eat it.
no, no, I don't eat those no more. Rain. Some people
That's
might,
it.
some people might
I mean,
remember that song.
it's and you can do it. Everyone does it. It's like, think about it. If it's like a health issue, listen, or you could just say, my doctor said I'm not allowed to eat gluten. Don't say donuts because, of course, no doctor wants you to eat donuts, but
Right.
like, it's really hurting me. And then what's going to happen is you'll slowly start getting support from other people, because it's true. You really need support from those around you, because you don't want to be always in that situation where you're constantly turning people down,
Yeah, sure.
But it comes from you. We are responsible for our own actions, nobody else. And, I'm very big on that too. It's not like, oh, you were in a tough situation. No.
Oh
this
no,
is
it's
you.
absolutely my fault
It's
whenever
your
you eat the donut. I get
responsibility.
that. I get that.
Yeah.
I could even tell my partner when we show up for a meeting, stop bringing the donuts. And every morning and sometimes he brings extras, and sometimes he eats them in front of me just to tease me. So I get it. So I just want to, just real quick, I want to go somewhere else just for a second. At the beginning we talked about the fact that you help women, and here I am, I'm a man, and you're helping me. How do you feel about that?
I help lots of men too. I mean, it's just more of, in general, who basically I attract on my website. But I mean, honestly, I work with a lot of men too.
Okay.
And actually, I've gotten amazing results from a lot of men.
That's awesome.
A lot.
For men, you
Yep,
got to be careful
yep.
how you say that, Oops.
Leave it
All
to
right.
Larry, yes.
Yeah, come on, I got to put my sense of humor here sometime, right?
Yes, I gotta watch what I say.
All right. So somebody has a food trigger like me. You're suggesting some of the cool things, like obviously remove the trigger, and also saying, hey, I don't do that anymore. That's really good. Is there any other advice that might work that for somebody like myself or the women you help or the other men you help on how to do that?
Well, you know what? I do really ask. I tell people, you know what? You don't have to be in on this alone. And I say, look, we are responsible for our actions, but I think that especially women, I think we are so used to being the nurturers and providers, like with, the home life and food and all that stuff, right? But I think so often we think it's maybe even a sign of weakness to ask for support. And I always say, you know what? You talk to those around you. If they love you, they will support you. Say, look, I need your help. Can
All
you
right,
just
so
not
wait,
put
so
this?
I get to, because this always troubles me. So the people who around
Okay.
you who support you, right? And you're absolutely right. They do it with love. Jill, you look skinny. You should be. Are you eating enough? This is not like you. I mean, my mother does this all the time, right? I'm like, Ma, it's okay. I don't want to eat that. Are you okay? Are you sick? You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that people like myself have to deal with. I didn't finish my plate. Are you okay, Larry? You always finish your plate. Ma, I just decided. Are you sure? What's the matter? Are you feeling okay? Do you want? That's what my mother does to me. So it's kind of a difficult place to be.
Can, but I always say, and listen, I do this myself. Look, I'm just
Right.
asking for your support with this. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to do it with me. I don't care. This is just what I need. I'm just asking for a little help. That's all. And with the friends and everything,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. Don't be afraid to ask for help with your community.
All right.
And people, so many women are are very, very surprised when they get a lot more support than they would expect.
I get it. All right. So you pretty much anybody can contact you and you can help them, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. How does somebody get a hold of the famous, at least famous to me now,
Famous.
Jill Gordon?
Well, you just go to jillthehealthcoach.com, and I've got lots of programs. I also have an online program. It's called rebootwithrealfood.com. You can check me out there as well. And I'm all over Facebook, Instagram. I tweet and all that fun stuff. So
Okay, cool. So jillthehealthcoach.com will have all your contact information, and they can find out about your programs. They can find out everything else as well.
absolutely. This was so much fun, Larry.
You are awesome, and I really appreciate you giving us some time today. And I'm looking forward to talking to you again. All right, Jill, we're
Sounds
gonna let you go now, and thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm gonna actually tell everybody I don't do that no more. All right. Hey, hey, I want to thank you all for watching the show. My name again is Larry Steinhouse, and I am the host of Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is live every morning at 7:30 a.m., and you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know why you want to be on the show, and you'll probably be on the show. Hey, we hope you enjoyed today's interview with Jill, and we also hope that you'll tune in again and make it a profitable day.